Hi, I'm John Twist of University Motors. I want to show you something about an MGA remote control that goes on the gearbox. Come on in our gearbox room. We've just got one gearbox done here. This is all nicely redone. The outside of it has been coated. Makes it look real nice, real clean kind of surface. But anyway, I want to talk about the remote control up here at the top. This is what really can make the gearbox feel good or bad. Now here's an old remote control. It's just an old used one, right? And Trevor's going to get down and shoot this area right in here. We're going to see if you can see this. I'm hoping you can see that shaft move in the housing. Now this is a steel shaft and an aluminum housing. Okay, if you can't see it, maybe you can hear it, but there's a lot of play there. What that means is when you go to change gears and when you're moving the gear lever, that instead of the gear lever moving the remote shaft and the remote shaft moving something in the gearbox, we've got some free play. Now we at University Motors have rebuilt these remote controls. Looks nice, it is nice. It's got a brass bushing in the front, a brass bushing in the rear, a new shaft, and no free play. These things slide very, very snugly. They've been loaded correctly with the right spring and tension. And in addition to that, we have the dramatic advantage of being able to remove the gear lever anytime we want. Now you know on an MGA gearbox we've got these two pins, and I don't know how this last gear lever was removed from here, because these pins were driven in and then peened, and it means that you can't get the gear lever out. Well, of course you can get the gear lever out, but it usually requires that you remove a little bit of material here to get rid of the peening, and then take a punch and a hammer while the gear lever is still in there and drive at that pin and drive one of those two pins out of the way. Then you can get this out. Well, what we've done with our rebuilt units, neither of these are loose, I can't do it, but you can unscrew these simply, put the gear lever in and screw these pins back in, and by removing the washers you can get them into just the right distance so that it holds the gear lever very, very correctly in there and yet doesn't prohibit free movement. And you know, at the top of these gear levers on the MGA is one of the only threads left from the T-types. It's a metric thread, 8 by 1.00. By the time we go up to the MGB gear lever, which is this one, we get a 5/16 fine thread up here. But on the original T-types and A's, it's 8.100. And it's very often broken. Here, this one's all been mashed off, and somebody's welded a bolt onto it. It's a horrible looking thing. Anyway, if you go to get a new gear lever and go to put it in your remote, use that opportunity to buy a remote from University Motors and get the better remote that hasn't got all that slop in it. So this is just a sales description of one of our products, but all you have to do is give us a call and tell us you're interested in the MGA remote control. It's a very nice unit, nothing like it anywhere. Call myself or Lisa, we can talk to you. Anyway, thanks very much and enjoy 2009.